Marcus Thompson drove slowly through the gates of Willowbrook Estates. His hands gripped the steering wheel tight as he looked at the perfect houses. Each lawn was green and cut just right. Each driveway was clean. Each mailbox looked the same. It was like a picture from a magazine. In the back seat, his 8-year-old daughter Emma pressed her face to the window. "Daddy, it looks like a fairy tale," she said with wonder in her voice. Marcus smiled for the first time in weeks. "I hope so, baby girl. I really hope so." 6 months ago, Marcus had been a different man. He was a Navy SEAL with 20 years of service. He could swim for miles. He could fight in any place. He could lead men into danger and bring them home safe. But none of that training had prepared him for watching his wife, Sarah, die from cancer. The doctors had tried everything. Marcus had been home for the last 2 months of her life. He held Sarah's hand as she got weaker each day. She made him promise to take care of Emma. She made him promise to find happiness again. She made him promise to leave the military and be a real father. Marcus kept his promises. He left the Navy. He sold their house near the base. He took the money from Sarah's life insurance and looked for a new place to start over. Willowbrook Estates seemed perfect. Good schools, safe streets, a place where Emma could be a normal kid. The moving truck was already at their new house when Marcus pulled into the driveway. The house was bigger than their old one. It had white walls and blue shutters. The front yard had flowers that someone had planted with care. Emma ran to the front door before Marcus could even turn off the car. "Daddy." "We have a porch swing," Emma called out. She was already climbing onto the wooden swing that hung from chains. Her dark hair bounced as she pushed herself back and forth. Marcus watched his daughter smile. It was the first real smile he had seen from her since Sarah died. His chest felt tight, but it was a good feeling this time. "Mr. Thompson?" a voice called from across the street. Marcus turned to see a woman walking toward him. She was about 50 years old with gray hair pulled back tight. She wore a blue dress that looked expensive. Her smile was bright, but something about her eyes made Marcus feel careful. "I'm Patricia Mills," the woman said, reaching out her hand. "I'm on the HOA board here. We're so excited to welcome you and your daughter to our community." Marcus shook her hand. Her grip was firm, almost too firm. "Thank you, Mrs. Mills. I'm Marcus, and that's Emma on the swing." Patricia looked at Emma and waved. Emma waved back, with both hands almost falling off the swing. Patricia laughed, but it sounded fake to Marcus. "We have some papers for you to sign," Patricia said. "Just community rules and such, nothing too serious. We like to keep things orderly here." Marcus nodded. Every place had rules. "Of course. When do you need them?" "Oh, no rush," Patricia said. Her eyes moved to look at the moving truck. "I see you have quite a few boxes. Military family?" "Former Navy," Marcus said. He didn't like how she asked the question. It felt like she was fishing for something. "How interesting," Patricia said. Her smile got bigger. "And it's just you and Emma now?" The question hit Marcus like a punch. He kept his face calm, but inside he felt angry. "Yes, just us." "Well, if you ever need help with anything, the community is here for you," Patricia said. She pulled a card from her purse. "My number is on there, day or night." Marcus took the card. Patricia Mills, HOA board member. Her phone number was written in neat letters below her name. "The moving guys are here, Daddy," Emma called from the porch. "I should go help them," Marcus said. "Of course," Patricia said. "Oh, one more thing. We have a community meeting next Thursday at 7. All new residents are expected to attend. It's in the clubhouse on Maple Street." Expected. Not invited. Expected. Marcus made a note of that word. "We'll be there," Marcus said. Patricia walked away, but Marcus could feel her looking back at him. He watched her cross the street and go into a big house with a red door. Through the window, he could see her talking on her phone right away. Marcus shook his head. Maybe she was just being friendly. Maybe he was thinking too much. The military had taught him to watch for danger everywhere. But this was a safe neighborhood. Emma was laughing on the swing. The sun was shining. Maybe he could relax for once. The moving men worked fast. Marcus helped them carry boxes into the house. Emma ran from room to room, claiming the biggest bedroom for herself. She found her box of toys first and started setting up her dolls in the living room. By dinner time, most of their things were in the house. Marcus ordered pizza, and they ate it sitting on the floor of their new kitchen. Emma told him about all the things she wanted to do in their new neighborhood. She wanted to ride her bike on the smooth sidewalks. She wanted to swim in the community pool. She wanted to make friends with other kids. Marcus listened and nodded. He wanted all those things for her, too. He wanted her to be happy. He wanted to be happy. Maybe Willowbrook Estates was the right choice. That night, Marcus tucked Emma into her new bed. The room still smelled like paint, but she had put her stuffed animals on the shelves. Her favorite blanket, the one Sarah had made, covered her small body. "Daddy, do you think Mommy would like our new house?" Emma asked. Marcus sat on the edge of her bed. "I think Mommy would love it. She always wanted you to have a big yard to play in. And a porch swing," Emma said with a sleepy smile. "And a porch swing," Marcus agreed. Emma's eyes closed. Marcus kissed her forehead and walked to his own room. Through his window, he could see other houses on their street. Most of the windows were dark, but a few still had lights on. Normal families doing normal things. Marcus felt hopeful for the first time since Sarah died. Maybe they could build a good life here. Maybe Emma could grow up happy and safe. Maybe he could figure out how to be both a mother and father to her. He didn't know that across the street Patricia Mills was making phone calls. He didn't know that she had already started a file with his name on it. He didn't know that Willowbrook Estates had secrets hidden behind its perfect lawns and friendly smiles. For now, Marcus just knew that his daughter was sleeping peacefully in her new room. That was enough. 2 weeks after moving to Willowbrook Estates, Marcus started to notice things. Small things at first. Things that made his military training whisper warnings in the back of his mind. It started with the mailbox. Marcus came home from grocery shopping with Emma to find their mailbox lying on the ground. The metal post was bent and the box itself had a big dent in the side. "What happened to our mailbox, Daddy?" Emma asked as they got out of the car. Marcus looked around the street. All the other mailboxes stood straight and perfect. Theirs was the only one damaged. "I don't know, sweetheart, maybe a car hit it." But there were no tire marks on the grass, no broken glass on the street. Nothing that showed a car had been there. Marcus set the groceries on the porch and walked to the mailbox. He picked it up and looked at the damage. The dent was on the backside, away from the street. Someone would have had to hit it from their own yard. That didn't make sense. "Mr. Thompson," a voice called out. Marcus looked up to see a man walking toward him. The man was tall and thin with gray hair. He wore a suit, even though it was Saturday afternoon. His smile looked as fake as Patricia Mills's had been. "I'm Richard Dalton," the man said, holding out his hand. "HOA board member. I heard about your mailbox. Very sorry about that." Marcus shook the man's hand. "Any idea what happened?" Richard looked at the broken mailbox and shook his head. "Probably kids with baseball bats. We've had some trouble with teenagers from outside the community. They think it's funny to damage property." Marcus nodded, but something felt wrong. "Do you have security cameras?" "Unfortunately, no," Richard said. "Budget constraints, you understand. But don't worry. The HOA will help you replace it. We have specific mailboxes that all residents must use. I'll send you the information." "Specific mailboxes?" Marcus asked. "Oh yes," Richard said. "Everything in Willowbrook Estates follows certain standards. Mailboxes, house colors, lawn decorations. It keeps the property values high." Marcus looked at their broken mailbox again. "How much do these approved mailboxes cost?" "Not too expensive," Richard said, but he didn't give a number. "Patricia Mills has all the details. She'll be in touch." Richard walked away, leaving Marcus standing in his yard with the broken mailbox. Emma was already inside, probably playing with her toys. Marcus carried the mailbox to the garage and made a mental note to ask more questions about these HOA rules. The next week brought more problems. Marcus came out Monday morning to drive Emma to school and found a bright orange ticket on his car windshield. The ticket said he was parked illegally in his own driveway. Marcus read the ticket twice. According to the paper, his car was blocking the sidewalk. He looked at his car. The back bumper was maybe 6 inches past the sidewalk line. Every other car on the street was parked the same way. "This is stupid," Marcus said under his breath. "What's wrong, Daddy?" Emma asked as she got in the car. "Nothing, baby girl, just some paperwork." Marcus drove Emma to school and then went to the HOA office. The office was in a small building near the community center. Patricia Mills sat behind a desk covered with papers and folders. "Marcus," she said with that bright fake smile. "How can I help you today?" Marcus put the parking ticket on her desk. "I got this yesterday. I don't understand why." Patricia picked up the ticket and looked at it. "Oh yes, parking violations. We take those very seriously here. Your car was blocking pedestrian access." "By 6 inches, Marcus said. "And every other car on the street is parked the same way." "Well," Patricia said, her smile getting smaller, "we can't ticket everyone at once. We handle these things as we notice them." Marcus felt his jaw tighten. "How much is the fine?" $150, Patricia said. "But since you're new, we can reduce it to $75, as long as it doesn't happen again." Marcus stared at her. $75 for parking in his own driveway. "Fine. Where do I pay?" Patricia handed him a form. "Just fill this out and mail the check to the address at the bottom." Marcus took the form and left the office. As he walked to his car, he noticed Patricia watching him through the window. She was talking on her phone again. That afternoon, Marcus picked up Emma from school. As they drove through the neighborhood, Emma pointed to the community playground. "Can we stop and play for a little bit?" she asked. Marcus checked his watch. They had time before dinner. "Sure." The playground was nice. It had new swings and slides and a big sandbox. A few other kids were playing there with their parents. Emma ran to the swings and started pumping her legs to go higher. Marcus sat on a bench and watched her play. It was good to see her laughing and acting like a normal kid. She had been too quiet since Sarah died. "Excuse me," a woman's voice said. Marcus looked up to see a blonde woman standing next to his bench. She was younger than Patricia Mills, maybe in her 30s. She wore jeans and a t-shirt, but her jewelry looked expensive. "I'm Linda Carter," the woman said. "My daughter is the one on the monkey bars. Is that your little girl on the swings?" Marcus looked at the monkey bars. A girl about Emma's age was hanging upside down and giggling. "Yes, that's Emma." "She's adorable," Linda said, sitting down on the bench without being asked. "Is she in 2nd grade?" "3rd grade," Marcus said. "Oh, at Westfield Elementary?" Sarah goes there too. Maybe they know each other." Marcus felt uncomfortable. This woman was asking a lot of questions about Emma. Maybe. Linda smiled and moved closer on the bench. "It must be hard raising her by yourself. Are you divorced?" The question hit Marcus wrong. "My wife passed away." "Oh, I'm so sorry," Linda said. But she didn't sound sorry. She sounded interested. "That must be very difficult. Do you have help? Family nearby?" Marcus stood up. "Emma, time to go." "Ah, Daddy, 5 more minutes?" Emma called from the swings. "Now, please," Marcus said in his serious voice. Emma heard the tone and got off the swings right away. She ran to Marcus and took his hand. "It was nice meeting you," Linda said. "Maybe the girls can have a play date sometime." Marcus nodded but didn't answer. He and Emma walked to the car without looking back. "Why did we have to leave?" Emma asked, as they drove home. "I just remembered we had things to do," Marcus said. But really, something about Linda Carter had made his warning bells go off. The way she asked questions. The way she looked at Emma. The way she wanted to know if Marcus had help with his daughter. That night, after Emma was asleep, Marcus sat at his kitchen table with his laptop. He looked up the Willowbrook Estates HOA website. The site showed pictures of happy families and perfect houses. It talked about community values and high standards. Marcus clicked on the board members page. There were 5 people listed: Patricia Mills, Richard Dalton, and 3 others. Marcus wrote down their names and started looking them up online. Richard Dalton's background looked normal. He owned a small business and had lived in the area for 10 years. But when Marcus searched for Patricia Mills, he found something strange. There were 2 Patricia Mills in the city. One was a retired teacher who had lived there for 20 years. The other Patricia Mills had no history before 5 years ago. Marcus dug deeper. The Patricia Mills who lived in Willowbrook Estates had no college records, no employment history, no previous addresses. It was like she had appeared out of nowhere 5 years ago. Marcus made notes in a small notebook. Sarah had always teased him about his notebooks. "You write everything down like you're planning a mission," she used to say. Maybe he was planning a mission. Maybe his family was in more danger than he thought. Marcus closed the laptop and walked to Emma's room. She was sleeping with her arms around her favorite stuffed bear. Her face looked peaceful and innocent. Marcus made a promise to himself. He would protect his daughter no matter what. If Patricia Mills and her friends were running some kind of game, they had picked the wrong target. Marcus Thompson was a Navy SEAL. He had fought enemies in dark places around the world. He could handle a few fake HOA board members. But first, he needed more information. He needed to know what they really wanted and how far they were willing to go to get it. The war for his daughter's safety had already started. Marcus just didn't know it yet. Marcus spent the next 3 days digging into the backgrounds of the HOA board members. What he found made his blood run cold. Stephen Crawford, another board member, had the same problem as Patricia Mills. No real history before 5 years ago. No college records, no job history. It was like both of them had been created from nothing. Marcus sat in his home office, papers spread across his desk. He had called in a favor from an old Navy buddy who worked in intelligence. The information that came back was worse than Marcus had thought. Patricia Mills was really Patricia Monroe. She had been arrested in Florida 3 years ago for running a fake charity scam. The charges were dropped when key witnesses disappeared. Stephen Crawford was actually Stephen Kowalski. He had been investigated in Texas for insurance fraud but was never charged. Richard Dalton seemed clean, but Marcus found something interesting. Dalton's business was in debt. Bad debt. The kind of debt that made people do desperate things. Marcus closed the file and rubbed his eyes. 3 criminals were running the HOA in his neighborhood. They were targeting him and Emma for some reason. But why? His phone rang. The caller ID showed Patricia Mills. "Hello?" Marcus said, keeping his voice calm. "Marcus, dear," Patricia's fake sweet voice said. "We need to talk. There have been some complaints about your property." "What kind of complaints?" "Well, your grass is a little too long. And someone reported that Emma was playing in the front yard without supervision. We have rules about children being alone outside." Marcus looked out his window. Emma was in the backyard, not the front yard, and she wasn't alone. Marcus was watching her through the kitchen window. "Emma is in the backyard and I'm watching her," Marcus said. "Oh, well, maybe the person who called was mistaken," Patricia said. "But we still need to discuss the grass situation. Can you come to the HOA office tomorrow at 10? Marcus checked his calendar. Emma would be in school. "Fine, I'll be there." "Wonderful. And Marcus, it might be good if you brought your custody papers for Emma, just to update our records." The line went dead. Marcus stared at his phone. Custody papers? Why would the HOA need custody papers? Marcus felt the old military alertness kick in. His senses got sharper. His mind started planning. Something was very wrong, and it was focused on his daughter. The next morning, Marcus dropped Emma off at school. As she got out of the car, she hugged him tight. "I love you, Daddy," she said. "I love you too, baby girl. Have a good day." Marcus watched her walk into the school building. She looked so small next to the other kids. So innocent, he would do anything to keep her safe. At exactly 10 o'clock, Marcus walked into the HOA office. Patricia Mills was there, along with Richard Dalton and Stephen Crawford. All 3 of them sat behind the desk like a panel of judges. "Marcus, thank you for coming," Patricia said. Please sit down. Marcus sat in the chair across from them. He kept his hands relaxed, but his body was ready to move fast if needed. We've had several complaints about you, Richard said. He opened a thick folder. Parking violations, lawn, maintenance issues, and concerns about child supervision. What concerns about child supervision? Marcus asked. Stephen leaned forward. Multiple neighbors have reported seeing Emma alone in your yard. Children under 10 are not allowed outside without an adult present. Marcus knew this was a lie. He had read the HOA rules twice. There was no such rule. I'd like to see that rule in writing. Patricia smiled. It's a new rule. We added it last month for safety reasons. I never received notice of new rules, Marcus said. Oh, we sent it, Richard said. Maybe it got lost in the mail. You know how unreliable mail service can be these days. Marcus felt like he was in enemy territory. These people were lying to his face, and they knew he knew it. What do you want? Marcus asked directly. The three board members looked at each other. Patricia spoke first. We're concerned about Emma's welfare, she said. A single father, military background, possible PTSD issues. It's a lot of stress. Sometimes people in your situation need help. I don't have PTSD, Marcus said. Of course not, Stephen said. But neighbors have reported hearing shouting from your house late at night. Another lie. Marcus never shouted. He barely raised his voice around Emma. We think it might be best if Emma stayed with a foster family temporarily, Patricia said. Just until you get the help you need. The words hit Marcus like a physical blow. They were trying to take Emma away from him. You have no authority to do that, Marcus said. His voice stayed calm, but inside he was furious. Actually, we do, Richard said. He pulled out another folder. We've been working with Child Protective Services. They're very concerned about the reports we've filed. Marcus felt trapped. They had been building a case against him. Fake complaints, false reports, all designed to make him look like a bad father. I want to see these reports, Marcus said. Of course, Patricia said. She handed him a stack of papers. Take your time. Marcus read through the papers. According to the reports, neighbors had seen Emma playing alone in the street. They had heard Marcus screaming at her. They had seen empty beer bottles in his trash. They had witnessed Emma crying on the front porch. Every single report was a lie. But they were written like official statements. They had dates and times. They had witness signatures. These are all false, Marcus said. I'm sure you believe that, Stephen said. But Child Protective Services has to investigate every report. It's the law. Marcus looked at the three faces across from him. They thought they had him beaten. They thought he would just give up and let them take Emma. They were wrong. When is CPS coming? Marcus asked. Tomorrow morning, Patricia said. 9 o'clock sharp. They'll interview Emma and inspect your home. Marcus nodded. Fine. I'll be ready. He stood up to leave, but Richard spoke again. Marcus, we don't want this to be difficult. If you cooperate, things will go much easier. Emma could stay with Patricia temporarily. She has experience with children. Marcus looked at Patricia Mills, or Patricia Monroe, the woman who had run fake charity scams, the woman who made money by lying and stealing. I'll take my chances with CPS, Marcus said. He walked out of the office and got in his car. As he drove away, he could see the three board members talking quickly through the window. They looked angry that he hadn't given up. Marcus drove straight to his lawyer's office. Tom Bradley had handled Sarah's will and the house purchase. He was a good man who didn't like bullies. Tom, I need help, Marcus said as he walked into the office. What's wrong? Tom asked. Marcus told him everything. The fake complaints, the lies about Emma, the threat from Child Protective Services. Tom listened without saying a word. When Marcus finished, Tom was quiet for a long moment. This sounds like a scam, Tom said finally. I've heard of cases where people target single parents with money. They use fake CPS reports to get custody, then drain the assets. Can you stop them? Marcus asked. I can try, Tom said. But if they've already filed with CPS, we have to deal with that first. The good news is that real CPS workers are usually good at spotting fake reports. Marcus felt a little better, but not much. What if the CPS worker is part of the scam? Tom looked serious. Then we have a bigger problem. But let's take this one step at a time. I'll make some calls. You go home and document everything. Take pictures of your house. Write down exactly what happened in each meeting. Marcus drove home and picked up Emma from school. She was excited about an art project she had made. A picture of their new house with stick figures of Marcus and Emma in the front yard. "Do you like it, Daddy?" she asked. "I love it," Marcus said, and he meant it. The picture showed a happy family in their new home. It was what Marcus had wanted for them. But looking at Emma's innocent face, Marcus made a decision. If these people wanted to play games with his family, he would play too. But he would play by rules they didn't understand. Marcus Thompson had spent 20 years learning how to fight enemies. He knew how to gather intelligence. He knew how to plan attacks. He knew how to win. Patricia Mills and her friends had made a big mistake. They had threatened his daughter. Now they were going to learn what happened when you went to war with a Navy SEAL. The battle was just beginning. The next morning came too fast. Marcus woke up early and made Emma her favorite breakfast, pancakes with strawberries. He wanted everything to be normal when the CPS worker arrived. "Why are you making such a big breakfast?" Emma asked as she sat at the kitchen table. "Can't a dad make his daughter pancakes?" Marcus said with a smile. Emma giggled. "You can make me pancakes every day if you want." Marcus felt his heart break a little. He didn't know if they would have many more mornings like this. At exactly 9 o'clock, a car pulled into their driveway. Marcus looked out the window and saw a woman getting out. She was young, maybe 25, with blonde hair and a cheap suit. She carried a folder and looked nervous. The doorbell rang. Marcus opened the door with Emma standing next to him. "Mr. Thompson?" "I'm Jessica Walsh from Child Protective Services," the woman said. She showed him an ID badge. "Come in," Marcus said. He had decided to cooperate completely. If this woman was real CPS, he had nothing to hide. Jessica walked into the living room and looked around. The house was clean and organized. Emma's toys were put away neatly. Family pictures sat on the shelves. "This is a nice home," Jessica said. She seemed surprised. "Thank you," Marcus said. "Can I get you some coffee?" "That would be nice," Jessica said. Marcus went to the kitchen to make coffee. While he was gone, he could hear Jessica talking to Emma. "What's your name, sweetie?" Jessica asked. "Emma Thompson," Emma said. "I'm 8 years old. Do you like living here with your daddy?" "I love it," Emma said. "Daddy makes the best pancakes, and we have a porch swing, and my room has purple walls." Marcus smiled as he listened. Emma sounded happy and safe. That was all that mattered. Marcus brought the coffee back to the living room. Jessica was writing notes in her folder. "Mr. Thompson, I need to ask you some questions," Jessica said. "We received several reports about this household." "I know," Marcus said. "I've seen the reports. They're all lies." Jessica looked at him carefully. "You sound very sure about that." "I am sure," Marcus said. "Someone is trying to make me look like a bad father." Jessica read from her folder. "According to these reports, neighbors have seen Emma playing alone in the street. They've heard you yelling at her. They've seen signs of drinking problems." Marcus felt his anger rising, but he kept his voice calm. "None of that is true. Emma has never played in the street alone. I don't yell at her. And I don't drink." "Can you prove that?" Jessica asked. Marcus went to his desk and came back with a thick folder. "I've been documenting everything since these reports started. Pictures of Emma playing safely in our yard. Receipts showing I don't buy alcohol. A letter from her teacher saying she's happy and well cared for." Jessica took the folder and looked through it. Her face changed as she read. She looked confused, then angry. "Mr. Thompson, these reports don't match what I'm seeing here," she said finally. "Because they're lies," Marcus said. Jessica closed the folder and looked at Emma. "Sweetie, can you show me your room?" Emma jumped up excitedly. "It's the best room ever." They went upstairs and Marcus could hear Emma talking about all her toys and books. When they came back down, Jessica looked even more confused. "Mr. Thompson, I need to ask you something directly," Jessica said. "Do you know who filed these reports?" Marcus handed her another folder. "Patricia Mills, Stephen Crawford, and Richard Dalton. They're on the HOA board." Jessica wrote down the names. "Have you had any problems with them?" Marcus told her about the parking tickets, the mailbox, and the meeting yesterday. He told her about the fake rules and the threats to take Emma away. Jessica listened without saying a word. When Marcus finished, she was quiet for a long time. "Mr. Thompson, I think someone is trying to scam you," she said finally. "You believe me?" Marcus asked. "I've been doing this job for 3 years," Jessica said. "I've seen real child abuse and real neglect. This isn't it. Your daughter is healthy, happy, and safe. Your home is clean and organized. You have no criminal record and no history with CPS." Marcus felt relief wash over him. "So what happens now?" "I'm going to close this case," Jessica said. "There's no evidence of abuse or neglect. But Mr. Thompson, you need to be careful. If these people are running a scam, they won't give up easily." Jessica left and Marcus hugged Emma tight. They were safe for now, but he knew this wasn't over. That afternoon, his phone rang. It was Patricia Mills. "Marcus, I heard the CPS visit went well," she said. Her voice sounded different. Angry. "It went fine," Marcus said. "I'm glad," Patricia said, but she didn't sound glad. "But I'm afraid we have another problem. Someone has filed a complaint with the police about your behavior yesterday." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "What complaint?" "Threatening behavior during our meeting," Patricia said. "The police want to talk to you." "I never threatened anyone," Marcus said. "Well, that's what you'll have to explain to them," Patricia said. "They'll be there in an hour." The line went dead. Marcus stared at his phone. These people weren't giving up. They were escalating. Marcus called his lawyer Tom Bradley right away. "They filed a false police report?" Tom asked. "Looks like it," Marcus said. "Don't say anything without me there," Tom said. "I'm on my way." Tom arrived just as a police car pulled into the driveway. 2 officers got out. One was older with gray hair. The other was young and looked eager. "Mr. Thompson," the older officer said, "I'm Detective Rodriguez. This is Officer Chen. We need to ask you some questions." "My lawyer is here," Marcus said, pointing to Tom. Detective Rodriguez nodded. "That's fine. We just want to hear your side of the story." They all sat in Marcus's living room. Emma was upstairs playing, away from the adults. "We received a report that you threatened members of your HOA board," Detective Rodriguez said. "That's not true," Marcus said. "Can you tell us what happened during your meeting yesterday?" the detective asked. Marcus told them exactly what happened. He showed them the fake reports and the documents Tom had gathered about Patricia Mills and Stephen Crawford. Detective Rodriguez looked through everything carefully. Officer Chen took notes. "Mr. Thompson, have you ever been arrested?" Detective Rodriguez asked. "No," Marcus said. "Any history of violence or anger management issues?" "No," Marcus said. "You can check my military record. 20 years of service, with no disciplinary actions." Detective Rodriguez closed his notebook. "Mr. Thompson, I think you're being targeted by scammers, but I need to give you some advice. Stay away from these HOA people. Don't go to any more meetings, don't answer their calls." "What if they keep filing false reports?" Tom asked. "Then we'll investigate them," Detective Rodriguez said. "But Mr. Thompson needs to be very careful. If he gives them any excuse, they'll use it against him." The police officers left and Marcus felt exhausted. In one day, he had dealt with CPS and the police, all because of lies from Patricia Mills and her friends. "What's our next move?" Marcus asked Tom. "We gather more evidence," Tom said. "And we stay defensive. Don't give them anything they can use against you." That night, Marcus sat on Emma's bed as she went to sleep. "Daddy, why were the police here?" she asked. Marcus had been dreading this question. Some people told lies about Daddy, but everything is okay now. "What kind of lies?" Emma asked. "They said Daddy was mean to them. But you know Daddy isn't mean, right?" Emma nodded. "You're the nicest daddy in the world." Marcus kissed her forehead. "I love you, baby girl." "I love you too, Daddy." After Emma fell asleep, Marcus went to his office and made a decision. Playing defense wasn't working. These people were going to keep attacking until they got what they wanted. It was time to go on offense. Marcus opened his laptop and started researching. He had contacts in intelligence, law enforcement, and private investigation. It was time to use them. Patricia Mills and her friends thought they were hunting a helpless single father. They were wrong. They were hunting a Navy SEAL who would do anything to protect his daughter, and Marcus Thompson was about to show them what that meant. Marcus spent the next week building his plan. He worked late every night after Emma went to sleep, making phone calls to old military friends and researching his enemies. The information that came back painted a clear picture. Patricia Mills, Stephen Crawford, and Richard Dalton were part of a bigger operation. They targeted wealthy single parents in gated communities across 3 states. Their method was always the same: fake HOA complaints, false CPS reports, and forged legal documents. Marcus learned that they had successfully taken custody of 4 children in the past 2 years. The parents were either scared into giving up or overwhelmed by legal battles they couldn't afford. Once they had custody, the scammers drained the children's trust funds and inheritance money. But Marcus also learned something else. The real CPS worker, Jessica Walsh, had started asking questions about the reports. She wasn't part of the scam. She was just doing her job, and she was getting suspicious. Marcus's phone rang at 11 p.m. on Thursday night. He answered it without checking the caller ID. "Marcus, this is Jessica Walsh from CPS," the voice said. "I'm sorry to call so late, but I need to talk to you." "What's wrong?" Marcus asked, instantly alert. "I've been investigating those reports about you," Jessica said. "I found something disturbing. Someone filed 3 more reports today, all from different people, but they all have the same writing style." Marcus felt his blood run cold. "More reports?" "Yes, and here's the strange part," Jessica said. "The people who supposedly filed these reports don't exist. I tried to contact them for follow-up interviews. 2 of the addresses are empty lots. The 3rd address is a gas station." Marcus walked to his window and looked out at the dark street. "So what happens now?" "I'm opening an investigation into filing false reports," Jessica said. "But Marcus, I need to warn you. These new reports are worse than the first ones. They claim Emma came to school with bruises. They say neighbors heard her crying for help." Marcus gripped the phone tighter. "None of that is true." "I know," Jessica said. "I already talked to Emma's teacher. She said Emma is one of the happiest kids in her class. But here's the problem. My supervisor wants to do another investigation, a more thorough one." "When?" Marcus asked. "Tomorrow afternoon," Jessica said. "And Marcus, this time they're sending someone else too, someone from the county office." Marcus knew what this meant. The scammers were turning up the pressure. They were forcing CPS to take action whether Jessica believed the reports or not. "Thank you for calling," Marcus said. "Marcus, be very careful," Jessica said. "Someone is playing a dangerous game with your family." After Jessica hung up, Marcus sat in his dark office and made a decision. He had been trying to fight this the legal way, but the legal system was being manipulated against him. It was time to fight this his way. Marcus opened his laptop and sent 3 encrypted messages to 3 different people. The first was to Jake Morrison, a former Navy SEAL who now worked private security. The second was to Carol Williams, a private investigator who specialized in fraud cases. The third was to Mike Chen, a computer expert who could find information that didn't officially exist. By morning, all 3 had responded. They would help. Marcus dropped Emma off at school like every other day, but this time, he hugged her extra tight. "Daddy, you're squishing me," Emma laughed. "Sorry, baby girl," Marcus said. "I just love you very much." "I love you too, Daddy. See you after school." Marcus watched her run into the school building. It might be the last normal day they had for a while. At noon, Marcus met Jake Morrison at a coffee shop downtown. Jake was tall and broad with scars on his hands from years of dangerous work. He looked like the kind of man you didn't want to make angry. So these people are trying to steal your kid? Jake asked after Marcus explained the situation. That's what it looks like, Marcus said. Jake shook his head. Some people have no shame. What do you need me to do? I need surveillance on Patricia Mills, Stephen Crawford, and Richard Dalton, Marcus said. I need to know where they go, who they talk to, and what they're planning. Done, Jake said. Anything else? Marcus handed him a folder. I think they have an office somewhere. Not the HOA office, but a real office where they plan their operations. I need you to find it. Jake looked through the folder. I'll have information for you by tomorrow night. At 2 o'clock, Marcus met Carol Williams at a small restaurant. Carol was in her 50s with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. She had spent 20 years as a police detective before going private. I've been looking into your HOA friends, Carol said without small talk. You're right about them being criminals. But it's worse than you think. How much worse? Marcus asked. Carol opened her laptop and showed him a file. Patricia Mills has been arrested 4 times in 3 different states. Always for fraud, always involving children and money. The charges keep getting dropped because witnesses disappear or evidence goes missing. Someone is protecting her, Marcus said. That's what I think too, Carol said. And I think I know who. There's a lawyer named David Brennan who represents all 3 of your HOA friends. He has connections in family court and child services across the region. Marcus studied the information on Carol's screen. So this is a network, not just 3 people. A network with power, Carol said. They've been doing this for at least 5 years. They're very good at it. At 4 o'clock, Marcus met Mike Chen in the parking lot of an electronics store. Mike was young, maybe 25, with thick glasses and nervous energy. Dude, your HOA people are into some serious bad stuff, Mike said before Marcus could even say hello. What did you find? Marcus asked. Mike showed him a tablet with bank records and financial documents. They have at least 6 different bank accounts under different names. In the last 2 years, they've moved over $2 million through these accounts. Marcus whistled. $2 million? Yeah, and get this, Mike said. Most of the money comes from children's trust funds and inheritance accounts. They're literally stealing from kids. Marcus felt sick. How are they accessing trust funds? Forged guardianship papers, Mike said. Once they get temporary custody of a kid, they file paperwork saying the parent is unfit. Then they get appointed as legal guardians. Once they're guardians, they can access any money the kid has. Marcus looked at the financial records. These people weren't just trying to hurt his family. They were professional criminals who had destroyed other families. There's something else, Mike said. I found communication between Patricia Mills and someone at the county CPS office. They're planning to take Emma into custody tomorrow during the investigation. Marcus felt the world spin around him. Tomorrow? Yeah, man. They have someone on the inside who's going to recommend immediate removal, even if the other CPS worker objects. Marcus drove home in a daze. Emma would be getting out of school soon. Tonight might be their last night together for a long time, unless Marcus did something to stop it. Marcus picked up Emma from school and took her to her favorite restaurant for dinner. She chattered about her day and showed him a drawing she had, made of their family. This is you, and this is me, and this is Mommy watching over us from heaven, she said, pointing to a cloud in the sky. Marcus felt tears in his eyes. It's beautiful, baby girl. That night, Marcus tucked Emma into bed like always. But as she fell asleep, he made a decision that would change everything. He wasn't going to let them take his daughter. Not tomorrow. Not ever. Marcus Thompson had spent 20 years as a Navy SEAL. He had fought in wars and saved lives. He had learned how to plan operations and eliminate threats. It was time to put those skills to use. The people who threatened Emma thought they were dealing with a scared, single father. They were about to learn they had declared war on someone who knew how to fight back. And Marcus always won his wars. Marcus woke up at 4 a.m. on Friday morning. He had barely slept, but his mind was clear and focused. Today, everything would end one way or another. Emma was still sleeping peacefully in her bed. Marcus looked at her small face and made his final decision. He would not let anyone take her away from him. Marcus went to his garage and opened a locked storage box he hadn't touched since leaving the military. Inside were items from his SEAL days, tactical gear, surveillance equipment, and other tools he hoped he would never need again. He took what he needed and put everything in a black backpack. Then he made coffee and sat at his kitchen table to review his plan one more time. At 6 a.m., his phone buzzed with a text from Jake Morrison. Found their real office, warehouse on Industrial Road. 3 cars there right now. They're meeting early, Marcus smiled grimly. His enemies were making their final plans. They thought they had won. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Marcus woke Emma up gently at 7 a.m. Morning, baby girl, he said softly. How did you sleep? Emma stretched and yawned. Good, Daddy. Are we going to have pancakes again? Not today, Marcus said. Today we're going to visit Uncle Jake. Emma sat up in bed. Uncle Jake was what? She called Jake Morrison even though they weren't related. Jake had been Marcus's best friend in the military and was like family to them. Really? I love Uncle Jake, Emma said. Why are we visiting him? Marcus had practiced this conversation in his head. Daddy has some work to do today. Uncle Jake is going to take you to the zoo and then to his house for a sleepover. Emma clapped her hands. A sleepover? This is the best day ever. Marcus helped Emma get dressed and pack a bag. He put her favorite stuffed animals and some clothes in her backpack. Then he made her favorite cereal for breakfast. Daddy, why do you look sad? Emma asked as she ate. Marcus forced a smile. I'm not sad. I'm just going to miss you while you're at Uncle Jake's house. You can come visit me, Emma said. I will, Marcus promised, as soon as my work is done. At 8 a.m., Marcus drove Emma to Jake's house across town. Jake was waiting in his driveway with a big smile. Emma, ready for the best zoo trip ever? Jake asked. Emma ran to Jake and hugged him. Uncle Jake, Daddy says I can have a sleepover. That's right, Jake said. He looked at Marcus over Emma's head. Are you sure about this? Marcus nodded. Keep her safe. With my life, Jake promised. Marcus hugged Emma tight. I love you, baby girl. Be good for Uncle Jake. I love you too, Daddy. Have fun at work. Marcus drove away without looking back. If he looked at Emma's face again, he might lose his courage. At 9 a.m., Marcus parked his car 3 blocks away from the warehouse on Industrial Road. He put on dark clothes and his tactical gear. Then he walked through the trees behind the building. The warehouse was old and gray with broken windows. 3 cars were parked in front, a black SUV, a red sedan, and a white van. Marcus recognized Patricia Mills's SUV from the HOA meetings. Marcus found a good hiding spot behind some old equipment and watched the building. Through a dirty window, he could see people moving around inside. At 10 a.m., Marcus's phone rang. It was Patricia Mills. Marcus, where are you? Patricia's voice was angry. The CPS workers are at your house and you're not there. I'm running errands, Marcus said calmly. Well, get home immediately, Patricia demanded. This meeting is very important for Emma's future. I'll be there soon, Marcus lied. Marcus hung up and smiled. Let them wait. Let them get frustrated. Frustrated people made mistakes. At 10:30, the warehouse door opened. Patricia Mills came out talking loudly on her phone. She was angry and waving her hands around. He's not answering, she said to someone inside. And his neighbor says his car has been gone since early this morning. Stephen Crawford came out next. Maybe he ran. Maybe he figured out what we were doing. Impossible, Patricia said. He's just a stupid ex-soldier. He doesn't have the brains to figure this out. Richard Dalton joined them outside. What if he took the kid and left town? Patricia shook her head. He can't run far. We have people watching the airports and bus stations. We'll find him. Marcus listened to every word. These people talked about Emma like she was a piece of property. They talked about him like he was an animal to be hunted. They were about to learn what happened when you hunted a predator. At 11 a.m., a 4th person came out of the warehouse. Marcus recognized him from Carol Williams' research. David Brennan, the lawyer who protected the operation. The CPS supervisor is getting impatient, Brennan said. We need to produce the kid today, or questions will be asked. Then we find him, Patricia said. Stephen, you take the north side of town. Richard, you take the south side. I'll check his work contacts. What about the lawyer? Brennan asked. Tom Bradley has been asking questions about us. Patricia's face got ugly. Maybe Mr. Bradley needs to have an accident. Marcus felt cold rage fill his chest. Now they were threatening Tom Bradley too. The four criminals got in their cars and drove away in different directions. Marcus waited until they were gone, then moved toward the warehouse. The back door was locked, but Marcus had learned how to deal with locks in the military. He was inside in 30 seconds. The warehouse was set up like an office. There were desks with computers, filing cabinets, and a big board covered with photos and documents. Marcus recognized some of the photos. They were pictures of him and Emma taken without their knowledge. Marcus found files on other families the criminals had targeted. Pictures of children who had been taken from their parents. Financial records showing how much money had been stolen. Legal documents that had been forged. Marcus used his phone to take pictures of everything. This was evidence that would put these people in prison for life. But prison wasn't good enough. These people had threatened Emma. They had planned to hurt Tom Bradley. They had destroyed other families. Marcus found what he was looking for in a locked desk drawer, the real plan for Emma. According to the documents, they planned to keep her in foster care for 6 months while they drained her trust fund. Then, they would move her to another state and sell her to people who bought children. Marcus felt something break inside his chest. These weren't just thieves. They were monsters who sold children. At noon, the criminals started coming back to the warehouse. Marcus heard Patricia's SUV pull up first, then Stephen's sedan, then Richard's van. Marcus hid behind a stack of boxes and listened to them talk. Any sign of him? Patricia asked. Nothing, Stephen said. His house is empty. His lawyer's office says he hasn't been in contact. Maybe he really did run, Richard said. No, Patricia said. He's too stupid to run. He'll be back. Brennan's car arrived last. I have bad news, the lawyer said as he walked in. The real CPS worker, Jessica Walsh, is asking too many questions. She wants to investigate our reports more carefully. So, stop her, Patricia said. It's not that easy, Brennan said. She's not one of our people. She actually cares about doing her job right. Patricia thought for a moment. Then maybe Ms. Walsh needs to have an accident too. That was enough. Marcus had heard enough threats. These people were planning to hurt innocent people to protect their criminal operation. Marcus stood up from behind the boxes. I don't think Ms. Walsh will be having any accidents. The four criminals spun around in shock. Patricia reached for something in her purse, but Marcus was faster. In 2 quick steps, he was across the room. His military training took over. Marcus grabbed Patricia's wrist and twisted hard. Something snapped and she screamed. Stephen tried to run for the door, but Marcus caught him with a kick to the knee. Stephen went down hard, his leg bent at a wrong angle. Richard pulled out a gun, but Marcus was already moving. A quick strike to Richard's elbow made him drop the weapon. Another strike to his kneecap put him on the ground. David Brennan tried to call for help on his phone, but Marcus kicked it out of his hand. Then he grabbed Brennan's shoulder and applied pressure to a nerve point. Brennan collapsed, unable to move his arm. In less than 30 seconds, all four criminals were on the ground, crying and unable to stand. Marcus stood over them, not even breathing hard. You made a mistake, Marcus said in a calm voice. You threatened my daughter. Patricia tried to crawl toward her purse. Marcus stepped on her broken wrist and she screamed again. You're going to call off your people, Marcus said. You're going to withdraw all the false reports. You're going to leave my family alone. You can't do this, Brennan gasped. This is assault. You'll go to prison. Marcus smiled, but it wasn't a friendly smile. Prison for protecting my daughter from people who sell children? I don't think so. Marcus took out his phone and showed them the pictures he had taken of their files. I have evidence of everything you've done, every family you've hurt, every child you've stolen, every dollar you've taken. The four criminals looked at the pictures and realized they were finished. Here's what's going to happen, Marcus said. You're going to confess to everything. You're going to return every penny you've stolen, and you're going to spend the rest of your lives in prison. Marcus called 911 and reported four criminals who needed medical attention and arrest. Then he called Carol Williams and told her to bring the FBI to the warehouse. By the time the police arrived, Marcus was sitting calmly outside the building. The four criminals were inside, crawling around and calling for help. "Officer, I found these people planning to kidnap my daughter." 3 hours later, Marcus sat in the police station giving his statement to Detective Rodriguez. The detective had been taking notes for over an hour, and his expression kept getting more serious. "Let me make sure I understand this correctly," Detective Rodriguez said. "You discovered that the HOA board members were actually criminals running a child trafficking operation?" "That's correct," Marcus said. He handed the detective a flash drive. "Everything is on there. Financial records, forged documents, evidence of other children they've taken." Detective Rodriguez plugged the flash drive into his computer. As he looked through the files, his face grew dark. "Mr. Thompson, this is a lot bigger than we thought." "I know," Marcus said. "They've been doing this for years, and you said they threatened to kill Jessica Walsh and your lawyer, Tom Bradley?" "I heard them planning it myself," Marcus said. "They were going to eliminate anyone who asked too many questions." Detective Rodriguez closed the computer and looked at Marcus. "Mr. Thompson, I have to ask, did you really act in self-defense?" Marcus met his eyes. "Detective, these people were planning to kidnap my daughter and sell her to child traffickers. When I confronted them, they attacked me. I defended myself using the minimum force necessary. It wasn't exactly true, but it wasn't exactly false either." Marcus had used the minimum force necessary to stop four dangerous criminals. The fact that it left them crawling on the ground was just a bonus. "The medical examiner says all four suspects have broken bones," Detective Rodriguez said. "Like I said, they attacked me," Marcus replied. "I'm trained in self-defense." Detective Rodriguez made more notes. "Mr. Thompson, normally I would be very suspicious of one man overpowering four people. But given what we found in that warehouse and given your military background, I'm inclined to believe your story." "It's not a story," Marcus said. "It's what happened." There was a knock on the door. Agent Sarah Collins from the FBI walked in with a thick folder under her arm. "Detective Rodriguez, Mr. Thompson," she said, sitting down. "I've been reviewing the evidence you provided. This is much bigger than a local operation." Agent Collins opened her folder and spread out photographs and documents. "We've identified at least 12 families in 4 states who were targeted by this network. 4 children are still missing." Marcus felt sick. 4 children? "We think they're being held in facilities out of state," Agent Collins said. "But with the evidence you gathered, we should be able to find them." "What about Patricia Mills and the others?" Marcus asked. "They're talking," Agent Collins said with a grim smile. "Amazing how cooperative people become when they're facing life in prison for child trafficking." Detective Rodriguez leaned forward. "What are they saying?" "Stephen Crawford has already given us the locations of 3 facilities where children are held," Agent Collins said. "Richard Dalton is providing financial information about their network, and Patricia Mills is naming names of everyone involved." "What about the lawyer, Brennan?" Marcus asked. "He's trying to cut a deal," Agent Collins said. "But with the evidence we have, he's not in a position to negotiate much." Marcus felt relief wash over him. "So it's over?" "The immediate threat to your family is over," Agent Collins said. "But Mr. Thompson, we may need you to testify in court. This case could take years to fully resolve." "Whatever you need," Marcus said. Agent Collins closed her folder. "There is one more thing. The people who were protecting this network had connections in law enforcement and child services. We're going to be investigating corruption charges as well." Detective Rodriguez whistled. "How high up does this go?" "We don't know yet," Agent Collins said, "but we're going to find out." Marcus left the police station as the sun was setting. He drove straight to Jake Morrison's house to pick up Emma. Jake met him at the door. "How did it go?" "It's over," Marcus said. "Emma is safe." Jake smiled and called into the house. "Emma, your dad is here." Emma came running out with ice cream on her face and a huge smile. "Daddy, Uncle Jake took me to the zoo and we saw elephants and then we got ice cream and then we watched movies." Marcus picked her up and hugged her tight. "Sounds like you had a great day." "The best day ever," Emma said. "Did you finish your work?" "Yes, baby girl, my work is all done." Marcus thanked Jake and drove home with Emma chattering about her day. She had no idea how close she had come to being taken away. Marcus planned to keep it that way. The next morning, Marcus woke up to find news trucks parked outside his house. The story had broken overnight. "Local father uncovers child trafficking ring" was the headline on 3 different news channels. Marcus kept Emma inside while reporters knocked on their door. He didn't want her to see the circus outside. His phone rang constantly. Reporters wanted interviews. Other parents who had been targeted wanted to thank him. The mayor's office wanted to give him an award. Marcus ignored most of the calls. But when Tom Bradley called, he answered. "Marcus, I just heard what happened," Tom said. "Are you and Emma okay?" "We're fine," Marcus said. "Are you okay? They were planning to hurt you too." "I'm fine," Tom said. "The FBI already talked to me." "Marcus, what you did was incredibly brave." "I just protected my daughter," Marcus said. "You protected a lot more than that," Tom said. "The FBI thinks you may have saved dozens of children." That afternoon, Jessica Walsh from CPS came to visit. She brought flowers for Emma and an apology for Marcus. "Mr. Thompson, I am so sorry," she said. "I had no idea how deep this conspiracy went." "You were just doing your job," Marcus said. "And you did it well. You're the one who figured out the reports were fake." Jessica smiled. "Thank you. I wanted to let you know that all the false reports have been removed from Emma's file. There will be no more investigations." "Good," Marcus said. "There's something else," Jessica said. "The county is reviewing all of our procedures because of this case. We want to make sure something like this never happens again." Emma came into the room carrying her favorite doll. "Miss Jessica, did you come to see my room again?" "Actually, I just came to bring you flowers," Jessica said, "and to tell your daddy that you have the most wonderful home." Emma beamed with pride. "I know. Daddy makes the best pancakes." After Jessica left, Marcus sat on the porch swing with Emma. The reporters had finally given up and gone away. The street was quiet again. "Daddy, why were all those people here today?" Emma asked. Marcus thought about how to answer. "Some bad people were trying to hurt families. Daddy helped stop them." "Are the bad people gone now?" Emma asked. "Yes, baby girl. They're gone, and they can't hurt anyone anymore." Emma nodded and snuggled closer to Marcus on the swing. "You're the best daddy in the world." Marcus felt tears in his eyes. "And you're the best daughter in the world." That night, Marcus tucked Emma into bed like always. But this time, he knew she was truly safe. The people who had threatened her were in jail. The network that had destroyed other families was broken. "Daddy, can we have pancakes tomorrow?" Emma asked sleepily. "We can have pancakes every day if you want," Marcus said. "Every day might be too many pancakes," Emma said seriously. "Maybe, just on weekends," Marcus laughed. "Weekends it is." As Emma fell asleep, Marcus made a promise to himself. He would never again let anyone threaten his daughter. He would never again underestimate the evil that some people were capable of. But he had also learned something else. When good people stood up to evil people, good usually won. It might not be easy, and it might not be pretty, but justice had a way of finding a path. Patricia Mills and her friends had thought they could prey on innocent families. They had thought a single father would be easy to intimidate and control. They had been wrong about Marcus Thompson, and now they would spend the rest of their lives paying for that mistake. Emma was safe. Other children would be rescued. The nightmare was over. Marcus had kept his promise to Sarah. He had protected their daughter, and he had found a way to be both mother and father to her. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight Emma was sleeping peacefully in her own bed. In her own home, with her father standing guard. That was all that mattered. 6 months later, Marcus stood in his backyard watching Emma play on the swing set he had built for her. The morning sun was bright, and Emma's laughter filled the air as she tried to swing higher than ever before. "Daddy, look how high I can." "Go," she called out. "I see you, baby girl. You're almost flying," Marcus called back. They had moved away from Willowbrook Estates 3 months ago. The new house was smaller but felt more like home. It was in a quiet neighborhood with real families and children Emma's age. No fake HOA, no hidden criminals. Just normal people living normal lives. Emma had made friends quickly. She played with the neighbor kids every day after school. She had joined the soccer team and was learning to ride a bike without training wheels. The sadness that had followed her since Sarah died was finally starting to fade. Marcus heard his phone ring from inside the house. He went in to answer it, keeping one eye on Emma through the kitchen window. "Marcus, it's Agent Collins," the voice said. "I have some good news." "What's the news?" Marcus asked. "We found the last 2 missing children," Agent Collins said. "They're safe now. The facility in Nevada has been shut down and all the children are going home to their families." Marcus felt a weight lift from his chest. For months he had wondered about the children who were still missing. Now they were all safe. "That's wonderful news," Marcus said. "There's more," Agent Collins continued. "The trials are starting next month. Patricia Mills, Stephen Crawford, Richard Dalton, and David Brennan are all pleading guilty to avoid the death penalty." "Good," Marcus said. "How long will they get?" "Life sentences without parole," Agent Collins said. "They'll never hurt another child." Marcus looked out at Emma, who was now trying to do tricks on the swing. "What about the other people in the network?" 15 more arrests so far, Agent Collins said, including 2 judges and a CPS supervisor. "The corruption was deeper than we thought, but we're cleaning it out." "Any word on the families who were hurt?" Marcus asked. "Most of the stolen money has been recovered," Agent Collins said. "The families are getting their children's trust funds back. It won't undo the trauma, but at least they can rebuild." After Agent Collins hung up, Marcus went back outside. Emma had moved from the swings to her sandbox, where she was building an elaborate castle. "Daddy, come help me build a moat," she called. Marcus sat down in the sand next to his daughter. As they worked together, Emma chattered about her day at school and her plans for the weekend. "Sarah invited me to her birthday party," Emma said. "Can I go?" "Of course," Marcus said. "When is it?" "Next Saturday. Her mom said you can come too, if you want." Marcus smiled. "I'd like that." Emma looked up at him with sand on her nose. "Daddy, are you happy here?" "Very happy," Marcus said. "Are you happy?" "Super happy," Emma said. "I like our new house and I like my new friends. And I like that you smile more now." Marcus realized she was right. He did smile more now. The constant worry and fear from Willowbrook Estates was gone. He could just be a father again. That afternoon, Marcus drove to the community center for his weekly meeting. The meeting was with other parents who had been targeted by trafficking networks. They had formed a support group to help each other, heal, and to help law enforcement catch other criminals. There were 8 parents in the group now. Marcus was the only one who had been able to stop the criminals before losing his child. The others had gone through months or years of legal battles to get their children back. "How is everyone doing this week?" asked Dr. Peterson, the counselor who led the group. A woman named Linda raised her hand. "My son is having nightmares again. He's afraid someone is going to take him away." "That's normal," Dr. Peterson said. "Children who have been through trauma often have setbacks." "Has he been talking to his counselor?" "Yes, twice a week," Linda said. "She says he's making progress, but it's slow." Marcus spoke up. Emma had nightmares for a while too. What helped was establishing routines that made her feel safe. Same bedtime every night, same breakfast every morning, predictable things that she could count on. Linda nodded. "We'll try that. Thank you." A man named Robert spoke next. "The lawyers say the people who took my daughter might get out on parole in 20 years. I can't sleep thinking about it." The system isn't perfect, Dr. Peterson said, but you can't control what might happen in 20 years. You can only control how you rebuild your family today. Marcus understood Robert's fear. Even though Patricia, Mills and her friends would never get out of prison, Marcus still sometimes woke up at night to check on Emma. After the meeting, Marcus stopped at the grocery store to buy ingredients for Emma's favorite dinner. As he walked through the store, his phone rang. It was Tom Bradley. "Marcus, I have something interesting to tell you," Tom said. "What's that?" Marcus asked. "I just got a call from a family in Ohio," Tom said. "They're being targeted by what sounds like the same kind of scam you went through. They want to know if you can help them." Marcus felt his jaw tighten. "I thought we got all of them." "Apparently there are other networks," Tom said. "The FBI thinks there might be dozens of these operations across the country." Marcus thought about it. He had the knowledge and skills to help other families, but he also had Emma to think about. "What would they need me to do?" Marcus asked. "Just consultation," Tom said. "Help them recognize the warning signs. Maybe put them in touch with the right law enforcement contacts." "I can do that," Marcus said. "Send me their information." Over the next few weeks, Marcus found himself helping more and more families. Word spread through law enforcement that he was an expert on trafficking scams. Local police departments started calling him for advice. Marcus created a simple website with information about HOA scams and fake custody schemes. He listed warning signs that parents should watch for. He provided contact information for FBI agents who specialized in trafficking cases. The website got thousands of visitors in the first month. Parents from all over the country sent emails thanking Marcus for the information. Some said his website had helped them recognize a scam before it was too late. But Marcus's favorite part of his new life wasn't the website or the consultation calls. It was the simple moments with Emma. Saturday morning pancakes had become a tradition. Emma would help measure the ingredients while Marcus cooked. She would tell him about her dreams from the night before and her plans for the day. "Daddy, I dreamed we went to the moon," Emma said one Saturday as she stirred the pancake batter. "What did we do on the moon?" Marcus asked. "We built the biggest sandcastle ever," Emma said seriously. "Because moon sand is the best kind of sand." Marcus laughed. "That sounds like a great dream." "Maybe we can really go to the moon someday," Emma said. "Maybe we can," Marcus agreed. "You'd make a great astronaut." Emma beamed with pride. "I want to be an astronaut and a teacher and a veterinarian." "You can be anything you want to be," Marcus said. "I believe in you." That afternoon, they went to Sarah's birthday party. Emma played games with her friends while Marcus talked with the other parents. For the first time since Sarah died, Marcus felt like he belonged somewhere. A woman named Carol approached him while Emma was playing pin the tail on the donkey. "You're Emma's father, right?" she asked. "Yes, I'm Marcus," he said. "I'm Carol, Sarah's mom," she said. "Emma talks about you all the time. She's such a sweet girl." "Thank you," Marcus said. "She loves playing with Sarah." Carol lowered her voice. "I hope you don't mind me asking, but aren't you the man who stopped those criminals? The ones who were taking children?" Marcus nodded. "That's me." "I just wanted to say thank you," Carol said. "As a mother, knowing that there are people like you protecting children, it means a lot." Marcus felt uncomfortable with the praise. "I just protected my daughter." "You protected all of our daughters," Carol said. "You're a hero." Marcus watched Emma laughing with her friends. He didn't feel like a hero. He felt like a father who had done what any parent would do. That evening, Marcus tucked Emma into bed after her big day at the party. "Did you have fun today?" he asked. "The best fun ever," Emma said. "Sarah's mom makes really good cake." "Better than Daddy's pancakes?" Marcus asked with mock surprise. Emma giggled. "Nothing is better than Daddy's pancakes." Marcus kissed her forehead. "I love you, baby girl." "I love you too, Daddy," Emma said. "Will you tell me a story?" "What kind of story?" Marcus asked. "A story about a brave knight who protects a princess," Emma said. Marcus thought for a moment. Once upon a time there was a knight who loved a little princess more than anything in the world. As Marcus told the story, Emma's eyes got heavy. By the time the knight defeated the dragon and saved the kingdom, she was fast asleep. Marcus sat by her bed for a few more minutes, watching her breathe peacefully. 6 months ago, he had been afraid he might lose her forever. Now she was safe, happy, and growing up to be a wonderful little girl. Marcus thought about Sarah and wondered if she would be proud of how he had handled everything. He thought she would be. He had kept his promises to her. He had protected Emma. He had found a way to be both mother and father, and he had built a new life where Emma could be happy. The next morning was Sunday. Marcus made pancakes while Emma set the table. After breakfast, they worked in their small garden together. Emma had planted flowers that attracted butterflies, and she loved watching them flutter around the yard.